I think it was Dr. Padayachee who spoke about, watch your social orbit, watch who fills your space, watch the people around you. I don't come from a family where there were all these, a community where there were all these powerful millionaires. But I made it a point that I want those kind of people in my life. If I could not have them physically, I've got to have them in the form of a book. I've got to have them in the form of an audio book. I've got to have them in the form of a workshop. Or instead of spending time checking people's statuses on WhatsApp and on Facebook, why don't you look up what Oprah said, or whoever you look up to? Let your data be wasted by something positive, because that inspires you. It opens your mind. It shows you what other people are doing out there. So watch what fills up your space. Again, I know it's not all possible to have these people physically, but we can always have them in form of books, in form of CDs, and taking the time off to come to this on a Saturday, while others are out going to birthday parties and partying. So this desire to become better, this desire to become more, and knowing that it's not about where I am, but it's about where I'm going.
I would like to know what motivated you to become a motivator, and how long are you a motivator now? A motivated speaker right now.
When I was in high school, I took part in a youth development program called the Rally Project. Rally stood for RALI, Responsible Action and Leadership Initiative. And it was there that I met my mentor, who has been my mentor since, this was like 93, 94, by the name of Mr. Robin Banks. Some of you may be aware of his name. And I was blaming the fact that I was from Crossroads, that the fact that I was born in a black family, the fact that I went into a township school where there are other kids that are coming from these suburbs, and I have to compete with them when I come to matric. And yet I didn't even have any of this scientific experiment done, but they expect me to write the same kind of exam. I felt like life was unfair. And Robin Banks says to me, Shakes, don't wish things were easy, wish you were stronger. Don't wish for life to be easy on you, wish that you were smarter. Because it's only when you become better that things become better. It's only when you change yourself. Stop blaming others. And it was a hard pill to swallow, but it has, ever since I did that, it has changed my life like this. I mean, coming from a world of shacks in Crossroads, literally shack. I mean, there's 5 of us living in a house, and to living in a beautiful home in Ellen's Neck. I mean, worlds apart, simply because of changing this thing.
Thank you very much. Is there any other questions? Okay, shall we?
Good afternoon. I would like to know, as a journalist in my community, how can the youth in our area go on to, the camps that you do for the youth? What is it that we have to do for our kids to join?
There's a couple of options. One is through the schools within the communities, where, because it's a familiar place for the parents, it's a familiar place for the children themselves, and everyone involved. So I usually get invited by the school, the headmaster, and then they will either have a meeting, a parents meeting, and then I will go share this with the parents, and then the parents will decide, I want my child to take part in this, and then we'll set it up and organize it. Second option is to find a sponsorship. Find a net bank who would say, you know what, we will pay for everything for these kids to take part in, and we will brand it. It will become a net bank leadership camp for Eldos. They will print the t-shirt, net bank, and so on, and then we all go on a camp. So there are a couple of options. I believe where there's a will, there's always a way. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Next question. Okay.
It's still formulating. I know Crossroads pretty well. Bantry Bay is lovely. High Level Road is the best. So there's lots of options in Cape Town. But just for instance, in terms of how many transitions you've made, you transitioned through your experience in Cape Town, through and with the help of Rock and Bank, you transitioned from Cape Town to Gauteng, and you're in this youth space and working with things in transition all the time. What is the thing that allows you to, for instance, get the lesson and move on? So I see that you advise us to think differently, believe differently. When does that switch happen, or that tipping point? That thing. What is that thing that people maybe can look forward in themselves to realize, okay, now I'm shifting? Is it about your universe reflecting something different back to you, or what would you say people should look out for?
I believe that when he comes out of Robben Island, when he comes out of Portsmouth, Shakes was moving from Crossroads to the Cape Flats to Kempston. I really believe that. I was told that I mean, when he comes out, things are going to be equal. And you know what I did? I identified the house in Camps Bay. That was going to be mine when Mandela comes out. If you've been to Cape Town, in Sea Point, we've got two main roads. We've got high level road and lower level road. Lower level road is the one that sort of has all the stores, you know. At the end of that low level road, you come to a traffic circle. We call that part in Cape Town Bantry Bay, beginning of Camps Bay. And then the house is there, it's in that traffic circle. It has glass walls, it's overlooking the crashing waves of the ocean. I used to look at this house and be like, when Mandela comes out, this one is made. The day comes, after Quebec announces that he's releasing Mandela. I know because it was that. Thousands and hundreds of thousands of people come and gather at Grand Parade. They put him on top of the city library in town, and Mandela stands on top of the library with the current president of the country, Kapike Cyril Ramaphosa, on one side, and I'm at the back of the crowd. Now I figured I don't want to be part of the crowd, just in case when Mandela says, go. And if you know Sea Point and City Center in Cape Town, if you're really determined, you can actually run to Sea Point. I mean, it's very close, it's not that far. So I'm at the back, I'm waiting for Mandela to say, you know what, the day is the day, everybody can go. Almost like Mugabe did in Zimbabwe. You know what Mugabe did in Zimbabwe? He says, go grab the land. You know, I thought when Mandela says, go grab the houses, I want to be the first one to arrive at mine. So that when the crowds come, they can say, no, don't come here, this one is taken, go next door. So anyway, he took such a long time to come out. And finally he gets up and he goes on stage and he goes, let there be peace in South Africa. I'm like, dude, whoa, 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 whoa. What are you talking about? It's payback time. I'm waiting for my house in Camps Bay. Do you know that Nelson Mandela persisted with his message of peace, reconciliation, and forgiveness? That eventually I started seeing what he was talking about. And I don't believe I was the only one. If you follow the political history of South Africa, you will know that there are many within his organization who disagreed with him at first. Now, I believe Mandela was able to do this because he changed who? If you've read Long Walk to Freedom, he speaks about it in that book. That I knew then, as I was walking out to the gates and the doors that would lead to my freedom, that if I did not leave my hatred and bitterness behind me, I will be in prison for the rest of my life. That's what Gandhi meant when he said, you become the change you want to see in others. Really?